Good morning. Okay, so we are picking up, and I believe we should close out Exodus today. So we're going to pick up where we left off, right? Exodus chapter 40 and verse 12. And thou shalt bring Aaron and his sons to the door of the tabernacle of ordinance, and wash them with water, and clothe Aaron with the holy vestments, and anoint him and consecrate him, that he may minister before me. And his sons, that thou shalt bring near, and dress them with tunics. So this is Aaron and his sons, and this ceremony is the coronation ceremony. It is a crowning, and it is to bring him, now he is the head of the Levite family. So he's king over the Levites, and his sons like him, right? This is the head branch family. They are the leaders of the Levite order. And anoint them as thou did anoint their father, that they may minister before me. So they're all being anointed. And their consecration shall be for a perpetual priesthood in their generations. So this is a blood right. This specific family and their ordination, this blood right that they have, permits them this thing, and it is forever. Even if you go away, if you come back, it doesn't change. It's from this family line, it's from this particular branch, and this is the service they must perform, the service of the Levites, right? The service of the Most High's tabernacle, right? They do have residential living, so all priests are not Levites, and all Levites are not priests. So while all priests are Levites, all Levites are not priests. That's the correct way of saying it. It is an honor to serve in the temple, to perform these rites, but they do perform Levitical rites in the localities. All right. And Moshe did all that Yah commanded, so did he. And it was in the first month, that is the month Nisan, in the second year, in the first of the month, that he reared up the tabernacle. So, if you noticed, in verse 17 of Exodus chapter 40, it took them a year, right? So they came out in the first year, and now they have about 9 months, right? So 7 to 9 months approximately to gather everything and build everything so that the priesthood can come and the tabernacle can be built for their education, training, and the service to begin at the beginning of the second year of the Exodus. This is the second in the second year. Now, this is our first year, and we need to build the sanctuary. We have to build housing for all of you, especially the Levites, and we have to build the school. The tabernacle not as yet being built, right? But that will come in time. We have to first begin to set the ordinance of things and our getting things in order. We have to set our governance first. We have to establish a place to gather our people first. We have to establish the support, the food, the water, the drinks. We can't just buy food. We have to produce it so that we can profit and be able to grow. So this can take us at this day and time, it will take us about the same amount of time from today with all the charitable giving that we receive, right? We have some anonymous donors that contribute to us on a monthly level, and that is available if you wish to do that. And then we have our, donation platform, if you check our link below, and you can ship and donate gold and silver if you wish. For the same work, we still have to make silver trumpets, and there's a longer list of things that have to be made to get certain things in order. All right. And thou shalt bring Aaron and his sons to the door of the tabernacle of ordinance and wash them in water and clothe Aaron with the holy vestments and anoint him and consecrate him. Oh, that's verse 13 down to verse 18. And Moshe reared up the tabernacle. So they put it up and placed its bases and set its boards and placed its bars and reared its pillars. And he spread the tent over the tabernacle. So there's a tabernacle and there's a tent that goes over it. So you don't just see the tabernacle. So it doesn't look like images on the internet. It's covered. And placed the covering above it, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And he took the 2 tables of stone and the tables of the covenant, right? So there's the 2 tables of stone, the tables of the covenant, which were given to him in Horeb, and set them up for a sign in the house of instruction. They are the tables of the testimony. So there is only one. And the broken tables he deposited in the ark, and set the staves in the ark, and placed the mercy seat with the kerubiah that were produced of a beaten work upon the ark. So he sets the table and then the kerubiah upon the ark. So all of these things were together. Okay? So when he sets them up for a sign in the house of instruction. So the tables of stone, which was the 10 words, which I taught you before, and the instruction, the understanding of the law, it is set up within the house of instruction, which is set up within the ark of the covenant, which is set up to save the people of Israel today. Right? The seed of Jacob first. Without them, there is no covenant. So I must receive back the sons of Gad and Zebulun and Naphtali from throughout Africa and the Middle East. I must receive them back. And in order to do that, we must have organization. And we have to start in the place where Moses said we have to start, which is to cross over Jordan. Jubilees chapter 50. So if we don't cross over Jordan, then it doesn't begin. Now, this is just the beginning. We also have to set up schools throughout the region because we have to build and have stages to people to get back in, because it takes time to build. It's not like we could just absorb 1 million people and then figure it out. That's foolishness. People come into an order, and there must be an orderly fashion to things and how it's done. So we contribute, we build, you come, and the process continues. And then we build from within, and you also help to build from outside. And he brought the ark into the tabernacle and set the veil for the covering and shadowed there with the ark of the testimony as Yah commanded Moses, and he placed the tabernacle of ordinance at the side of the tabernacle northward without the veil, and set in order upon it the rows of bread before Yah as Yah commanded it. And he placed the candelabrum in the tabernacle of ordinance over against the table upon the side of the tabernacle southward. So the candelabrum sits in the south the same way the sun sits in the south here, on that side. And he kindled the lamps before Yah as Yah commanded, and he set the golden altar in the tabernacle of ordinance before the veil, burned sweet incense upon it as Yah commanded, and he set the hanging of the gate of the tabernacle and the altar of burnt offerings, and he placed at the gate of the tabernacle and offered thereon the burnt offerings and the oblation as Yah commanded Moshe. And he set the laver upon its foundation between the tabernacle of ordinance and the altar, and put living water therein for purification. So there's a cleansing and secondarily a purification, that it may not fail nor become corrupt all the days. Moshe and Aaron and his sons took from it for their ablutions. Ablutions is wudu. So they took from it to bathe themselves, to cleanse themselves, and sanctified therewith their hands and their feet. At the time they entered into the tabernacle of ordinance or approached unto the altar, they purified themselves, as Yah commanded Moshe. And he reared up the court round about the tabernacle and the altar, and placed the hangings, which was for the gate of the tabernacles, and Moses completed the work. Well, it's not just Moses. Okay? Moses is the final sign off, but everybody contributed. Everybody contributed to the building, and then the Levites contributed to putting this thing together finally. Then the cloud of glory overspread the tabernacle of ordinance, and the glory of the Shekinah filled the tabernacle, and Moshe was not able to enter the tabernacle of ordinance because the cloud of glory rested upon it. And the cloud of Yah's Shekinah filled the tabernacle. So once it was finished and built and cleansed and everything was done, the cloud was over it. The cloud comes down and it enters inside. It fills the inside. Moses didn't go in. He stays outside. Why? Aaron is appointed. The people all have their rightful kings and their places. Everyone is appointed to their place. I have done as the Most High has commanded me. I no longer have the place or the right to enter in anymore. It is completed. Right? At the time when the cloud of glory ascended from the tabernacle, the sons of Israel went forward in all their journeys. So as long as the cloud rests on the tabernacle, the people rested. If the cloud raises up, the people knew, pack it up. We have to move. But if the cloud of glory went not up, they did not go forward until the day when it ascended. For the cloud of glory overspread the tabernacle by day, and as a column of fire it gave light in the night, that all the sons of Israel might see in all their journeys. So it was a spectacle. There's something to see and give them light. It's nighttime. They're journeying in the wilderness. They have no electricity. But this fire is so bright, they can see in the night, and they have something to see in the daytime to know when to go, when to stay. And this closes out the book of the Exodus. Starting tomorrow, we begin the book of Leviticus, right? Wa'ikra, right? So we're going to just continue, and now we're going to now begin to look at the overlapping. So there is an overlapping of the story. It's not a continuation. This story proceeds to tell you its points, and then this story overlaps at a certain point and testifies of this story's process and gives further details. You understand? So this story is complete. It stops. This story will pick it up and give further details overlapping and testify or bear witness to what is happening in the prior story. I hope you all continue to donate. We got some big news coming up. We are very excited about. And hopefully everything will be up in the next couple of days, and I'll be glad to make that announcement. See you guys tomorrow. One step, one step.